You know something is different when grown NBA vets are sending double teams at a teenager before he even hits his first shot. The scoreboard says rookie, but the way defenses react says something else. Every trip down the floor, one kid is pulling extra help, the other kid is breaking plays with pure effort, and suddenly the whole game feels built around two names who were playing high school ball not long ago. On one side, you have a shooter who punishes the smallest mistake. Lose him for half a second, it is 3 points. On the other side, you have a rookie who shows up everywhere at once, contesting jumpers, chasing down layups, grabbing the board, then pushing the ball before anyone can reset. Fans are not arguing about a nice rookie class. They are stuck on one simple thing. These two already look like the engine of real NBA games, not kids just trying to survive. If you want to understand why this Rookie of the Year talk is so heated, you cannot start with box scores. You have to start with the rookie who makes offenses nervous before the play even starts, the one who turns broken possessions into easy points the other way. That is where the real gap begins, and that is where we go next. Watch one full defensive trip when he is on the floor. The point guard calls a set, Big sets the screen, wings space out. It all looks normal for 2 or 3 seconds. Then he slides across the lane, cuts off the drive. It recovers to the corner and somehow still gets a hand on the shot at the rim. The box score only shows a block or a miss, but the real story is how many players had to change what they wanted to do the moment he moved. Coaches hate this kind of defender because he ruins clean plans. A guard thinks he has a step, then sees a long arm flashing in from the side. A big rolls to the hoop and suddenly feels a body flying in from behind. As shooters rush their form because they can feel him closing out even before the pass arrives, he is not just playing hard. He is reading where the play is going and jumping in just early enough to force a different choice. And that is why his impact does not depend on a hot shooting night. Even when his jumper is off, he is still cutting off drives, helping at the rim, chasing down layups, and ending trips a second earlier than offenses expect. The scoreboard only shows the final miss. But the real damage is how he speeds up decisions and makes teams nervous. Once he gets his hands on the ball, the whole tone flips because that is when his defense starts turning into easy chances the other way. The best part comes after the miss. As soon as the ball pops loose, he is not standing and posing after a block. He is already turning up the floor, eyes ahead, pushing the dribble like a guard. Wings sprint to the sides, bigs trail the play. And in 2 or 3 steps, the whole possession flips from danger on defense to wide open lane the other way. It looks simple on replay, but it only works because he reacts before anyone else. Teammates love playing with a guy like this because they know a good contest can turn into an easy bucket. A guard dives to the rim, trusting the pass will be there. A shooter spots up in the corner, ready for a quick kick out. Sometimes he finishes the play himself with a strong take. Might be giving up free points 5, might be giving up free points 5 seconds later. That habit wears teams down over a full game. Every rushed shot, every lazy drive, every soft pass now carries a risk that it becomes fast break fuel. Coaches on the other bench start yelling for better shot selection, slower pace, more control. His own staff sees how often he turns broken plays into quick offense and starts asking a bigger question. If he can run like this in the open floor, how much more could he do with the ball in his hands from the very start of a possession? At some point, the coaching staff looked at this kid and decided normal rookie minutes were not enough. Instead of hiding him in the corner or keeping him as a simple finisher, they moved him up a level and told him to bring the ball up, read the floor, out and run the show. That is not a small switch. For a teenager in his first year, it turns every trip into a test. Every mistake is loud. Every choice is on replay. The rough patches came fast. Late shot clock drives that went nowhere, passes that arrived half a second slow, empty trips where he looked caught between scoring and setting someone else up. Talk shows started to question the plan. Fans wondered why he was being asked to do so much this early. And the numbers from that stretch did not look friendly at all. But through all of it, the coaches did not pull the plug. They kept giving him the same job, same touches, same pressure. That stretch changed him. The next time he came off a screen, the reads were cleaner. He got into his spots earlier in the clock. He started to know when to attack and when to swing the ball to a teammate with a better look. The work did not show up in one big jump, it showed up in a steady climb. And once they slid him back into a more natural forward role, all that extra experience with the ball made him look more ready, more calm, and a lot harder to guard. All that pressure finally boiled over in one game. The same kid who had been learning on the job walked into a tough matchup and started scoring like he had been in the league for years. Drives, pull-ups, tough finishes through contact, deep threes when the defense backed up, it all started dropping. Every time his team slipped behind, he answered with another big play just to keep them close. By the fourth quarter, the building felt different. The other team could feel him coming on every trip. They sent bigger bodies, switched coverages, tried to force the ball out of his hands, and he still kept finding ways to get to his spots. The numbers at the end were crazy for any player, let alone a teenager. And he walked off the floor with a career high that put his name next to some very famous ones in the record books. But here is the part that kept the debate alive. His team still lost. He did almost everything you could ask on both ends, and it still was not enough to drag them over the line. The next morning, fans were split again. Some said this kind of load on a bad roster proves how special he already is. Others pointed across the league to a different rookie, a one leading his team to more wins with a very different style, and said that is the guy you build around. While people were still arguing about that huge scoring night in a loss, another rookie kept doing something way quieter but just as scary. Every time he crossed half court, defenders stayed glued to his jersey. One bad angle on a screen, one late switch, 1 second of ball watching, and the shot was already in the air. He did not need drama or loud reactions. To the corner, or slides into open space to the corner, or slides into open space at the top of the arc. Teammates know if they find him with just a little daylight, the shot is basically money. That is why coaches keep yelling for tighter closeouts and cleaner communication when he is on the floor. The fear is simple and real. Lose him once and you are walking back on defense. What makes this more than a hot streak is how often he forces teams to change their coverage. Bigs step higher, guards chase harder, wings cheat toward his side and leave other players with cleaner looks. His shooting does not just give his team points, it stretches the floor for everyone around him. And we still have not talked about what happens when defenses sell out on his jumper and he starts putting the ball on the floor himself. The label on him says shooter. But the tape tells a different story when the game gets tight. Late in close games, the ball keeps finding his hands at the top of the floor, not just in the corner. He sizes up his man, uses a simple dribble move, and walks into a clean pull-up. Next trip, he rejects the screen, drives middle, and drops in a soft floater over help. Then, when the defense finally leans inside, he steps back behind the line and buries another three. That is not a spot-up roll, that is someone running the show. That you really see it on nights when his teammates cannot buy a bucket. Instead of disappearing into the background, he starts reading the floor like a vet. If the big switches onto him, he drags him out and attacks off the bounce. If a smaller guard picks him up, he takes his time and shoots over the top. When the trap comes, he hits the open man without rushing. The whole offense calms down because one player is making clean decisions one touch at a time. Games like that are why coaches trust him to close. He is not just adding points, he is choosing where and how his team gets its looks when it matters most. That is a different kind of value than a wild scoring night in the middle of the season. And it is exactly why this race is so tricky now. On one side, you have a rookie doing a bit of everything for a struggling group. On the other, you have someone who already looks like a closer for a team trying to win. The award has to pick which kind of impact matters more. Step back for a second and look at the whole picture. This rookie group is deep. A lot of first-year players are giving real minutes and real production. But every time fans, media, or coaches start talking about the season, the talk always circles back to the same two names. One kid carrying a messy roster with effort in every part of the game. The other lifting a stronger team with shooting that bends the floor. In simple terms, the league is staring at two different answers. Cooper Flagg stuffs every column on the sheet, flies around on defense, and keeps a bad team from falling apart completely. Kon Knueppel punishes every slip in coverage, keeps his offense organized in tight moments, and helps his group close out wins. One looks like the future of a rebuild. The other already looks like the kind of piece you plug into winning basketball. Well, so what should matter more right now? The rookie who holds everything together on a weak team, or the rookie who turns a good team into something sharper and harder to guard? That is what this award is really asking. Today, a lot of people would lean toward Kon by a thin margin because of the efficiency and the control. But one stretch of healthy, locked-in games from Cooper could flip the whole thing again. And that is what makes this year so fun. No matter who takes the trophy, both of these guys already look like players the league will have to deal with for a long time. Blessings to all my subscribers, family, your support means everything. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and I catch you in the next one.